The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of salt, so get ready, nerds, because we're talking The Nevers, Episode 3. Welcome and thank you for joining us on today's podcast. We're going to talk about the new episode of The Nevers on HBOMax, and I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds, starting with the ambassador of estrogen, Jude.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And Matthew Kadish.
Well, it's nice to have you for a Nevers discussion because on the first two episodes, we were Alex free.
I know,
series.
but I watched them all.
It was spontaneously Alex free, and I was very unprepared for the hosting spot. I was like, what do I do with my hands?
How do I host? You know what? I watched it.
Joss Whedon.
Like, I think very little of myself as the host. I'm like, I don't fucking do anything. I'm boring. I'm dull. I just ask people questions.
That's pacing, yeah.
And then I watched the episode. And I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, I was there. And
I did my best.
It was a conversation between Matt and Jude.
I know.
And I was nodding like they never let me cut in once.
I know. I was like, where's Tom?
No, I was right here. They were looking into each other's eyes.
By the way, Tom's here.
Welcome, Tom.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to give my synopsis on this episode.
All right, guys, before we get into the show, we're going to take a quick break, listen to some ads. We'll be right back.
You said you're going to take a sick break.
I've been drinking a lot of sake. Hey, guys, if you would like to support our drinking habit, go to saltynerdclub.com, join our Patreon team. There you can get access to a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff and have contact with the hosts of the podcast and make suggestions on what we should watch next week. So, yeah, we really appreciate your support. Go to saltynerdclub.com and join our awesome Patreons. Okay.
Sometimes people send us liquor, and we really like that.
We love it when you guys send us booze. Kadish, take it away. What is this? Are we going to do the same thing with Winter Falcon, the Winter Soldier?
Yeah. Same thing that we do with all of our
all of our TV shows. Yeah. Kadish is going to run us through the episode scene by scene, and we're going to talk about it. So take it away, sir.
Right, so episode 3 of The Nevers, entitled Ignition. Bonfire Annie takes over a Beggar King safe house and burns all of his opium. And Miss True and Penance show up to try to recruit Annie, but she refuses to join up and escapes while True and Penance get high.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay, so I'm going to kind of like capsule my first impression for the first 2 episodes because I wasn't here last week. I want to like the show. There's a lot of concepts that I kind of find interesting, but I cannot get Joss Whedon's stank off of it. It's like very like, yay, girl power, and every dude is either a deviant, a spineless coward, or a white straight male. And those are the 3 men that you have in this show. And
I don't agree with that.
And every other chick is just awesome at everything.
That's true.
And that's kind of what it is. And I'm kind of like not into it that much, but I'm trying to work past that and give it a shot so that I can enjoy the show for what it is. That being said, I do like a lot of the characters. Miss True is a lot of fun. She's cool. I like how she's like...
That's Mrs. True?
Mrs. True. Miss True.
How dare you?
Ms. She's not married.
Is she married?
She's widowed.
Yeah, she's known as the widow.
No, it's Doctor.
Yeah, every girl in this movie is a doctor. No, I don't know. There's a lot about it that I don't like, but I'm trying to work past it. There's a lot of concepts that I think are kind of fun. I didn't really know what the spaceship was all about last week. Am I missing something?
That was the thing that gave them their powers.
I figured that out,
That
but
was
I'm like...
the Jizzy spaceship.
Yeah, the Jizz spaceship. Did we know, is there like some like original content that we can point to? And know where... I don't know what Tom's doing.
It's the fish. And he's coming.
Is this an original work of Joss Whedon?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is
So-
it's not
so-
based on anything.
Okay, so nobody knows what the spaceship is at this point.
Correct.
Okay, so we're supposed to not know.
Or if
There's
it is
just
a spaceship.
that came
And
and
gave everybody super...
jizzed on everyone, and some people got superpowers.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if I was missing a piece of that puzzle. And I'm like, what is this and where did it come from? But we don't know that yet. Okay.
And Melody's the only one who remembers the spaceship.
Yeah. And she's the crazy chick with the red eyes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right. It's interesting. There's a lot of fun to it, but there is that aspect of most of Joss Whedon's work that I'm kind of like, ugh, I just roll my eyes a lot.
It's got a touch of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I've never seen that show.
Well, we're watching it now.
That is my
Okay.
favorite show of all time.
Okay, so it's probably...
Jude loves this.
So I probably wouldn't like Buffy because I'm not really into this show.
Buffy was better. Buffy was better than this.
You think so?
Was so good.
Yeah, Buffy had better world building. Buffy
Okay.
was pretty fun, and
I don't know. This show's doing pretty well.
I'm really
Just 3
into this
episodes
show.
in,
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
but Buffy did it over a long period of time. This
Yes.
one's giving us a lot up front. Like Buffy started very small.
Well,
Yeah.
Buffy had a movie to set it up with.
I don't know if that's true.
No.
Well,
It gave them a title.
No, if you look at the series premiere of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's a direct sequel to the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Loosely.
Well, they referenced the movie, so it existed in that universe.
Is Pee Wee Herman in the...
Okay, all right. Let's move on. Okay, so
I will say, since we're already talking about Buffy and Joss Whedon and all of that, like Buffy had 7 seasons to work up to greatness, and they 100% did. The first 2 seasons of Buffy are fucking rough. I will say we're 3 episodes in, and I'm already into this show.
okay, that's fair. Okay, so this opening scene, fight scenes are cool. I like Bonnie. She's badass with her flame throwing powers. That's pretty cool. I thought the whole like
I thought it was Annie.
Yeah, Bonfire Annie.
Bonfire
Annie.
Annie. Oh, I mixed the 2 names.
Oh,
It's Bonnie.
Bonnie's cute.
Bonnie.
Hey, I get it.
There you go.
I get it.
See, that's where my drunken brain
you
went.
didn't do it on purpose, but
Put
yeah, it went
the
somewhere.
name on the list, my man.
Bonnie. Bonfire Annie is Bonnie now.
The Bonnie
No,
Prince.
your list.
The Bonnie Prince.
All right. I thought the scene was cool. I like that she's like trying to establish herself. Like she left the other crew that she was with and she's like, I'm going to be the new badass in my own world. And
Yeah.
I'm going to take over this,
I don't need a crew.
the beggar kings.
I am the crew.
I am the crew. Exactly. I dig it. I'm cool. I thought the whole like, I'm going to go and get high off the smoke from the opium, really weird.
I liked it.
I mean, it's
That was
kind of
funny.
It's kind of funny.
She's obviously a miserable person, and she's looking for a bit of happiness wherever she can find it.
She's-
She was like, "Oh shit, there's like a bonfire of opium. I'll be right back."
I'm going to go get stoned.
Yeah,
Okay.
We've all been there.
I've done it.
All right. What happens next, Gage?
All right, so next we're back at the orphanage, and Dr. Cousins is checking in on True, and we learn that he had an affair with her, but he broke it off because he has a wife.
This felt very melodramatic and out of left
I
field
don't
for
really
me.
remember anything about this.
Well, they have the token black guy, and he apparently had an affair with True, and he regrets it because he's married. So it tells me a lot about his character, and I don't know, like, he seems like a pretty straightforward dude, seems like a good person, but he banged True when he was married. Like, it seemed like to me that didn't seem to fit his character from the last 2 episodes. He's very much straightforward. He is helpful when he can be, but he's a bit standoffish. And I guess he just messed up one day and regrets it. I didn't feel like it fit
Well,
his character.
it was an ongoing affair, and True was always like, man, you could still get this if you wanted it, and he's just like, I'm not that type of man, so,
Anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
anymore.
Not today.
So Mary Brighton is entertaining the touched with music, and Penance shows her plans to amplify Mary's song with what she calls a brightener, which is actually an amplifier.
Yeah.
And Mary is still unsure what the orphanage is all about, and her worries are keeping her from using her turn again.
I'm still wondering what the orphanage is all about.
It's Xavier's, house for the gifted is basically what it is.
Well,
what are they doing? Though?
The lady in the wheelchair, whose name I routinely forget.
Xavier.
Okay.
Bidlow.
Fine.
Bidlow.
Nice.
She is kind of masterminding this whole thing.
There's
Like
something going on.
She's doing the dirty deeds over here with the experiments, and she's also the face of this orphanage who's like the touched are good and be nice to them and blah blah blah, but really she just wants control of
But she's experimenting
all
on
of
them.
Yeah, but I think ultimately what she desires is to have the control over all of them. And if she has the control over the ones that think that she's a good guy, great. And also she lobotomizes a bunch of them and is getting them to dig out the spaceship.
I wonder if her motivation is to try and figure out a way to synthetically make these powers and get him, like maybe she's trying to be able to walk
I think
again.
that's what the doctor wants, is because he keeps saying like, I'm looking for that spark.
Yeah.
So he's looking for what it is that gives them their powers.
Yeah. So I think maybe they're trying to figure out a way to be able to give it to people instead of just having it be by chance. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. Maybe she's trying to be able to walk again.
I mean, it's the same theory as in Thunder Force.
You're not wrong.
What was the theory in Thunder Force?
We want to bring the powers to the good guys.
Yeah.
To everyone.
Only sociopaths
But
have
who's
powers.
good?
Nobody's
But
good.
who is good?
I don't know.
All right, so Augie Bidlow goes to see Lord Swan about reservations with investing in the Ferryman's Club. Swan brushes aside his worries and tells his assistant to quickly file the contracts he told Augie he had already filed. I thought this scene was pretty funny. You know, Swan's auditioning all these turned women for his sex club.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel dirty when I watch him. It's just
I
like,
think
You need to
you're supposed to.
embrace
I know. I mean, I guess he's working the character correctly because every time I see him on screen, I'm like, ugh, God, I hate that guy. He's such a freaking deviant
You know,
weirdo.
for a man who has as many kids as you do, you're not embracing the dirty. You need to embrace it.
Missionary. That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, you made me spill my water.
No, I don't know. I don't like the
If
guy.
it's not procreation,
Turn
it's
around.
sin.
Don't look at me.
It's like, I don't know. Again, I have to go back to the whole freaking every dude in this movie is either a deviant or a straight white male. It's like, those are the two villains. You have the dude who's just an asshole deviant who's like all into the weird kinky sex with the people and he's just using these girls.
Okay, I don't really think he's a bad guy in this. I don't see him as a villain. I
No?
see him as the quirky,
No.
loose, morally loose
No.
guy.
He's incredibly smart, and most people are actually afraid of him that know him. They're afraid of him.
Yeah, he's doing some things that are going to be.
Yeah, the scary old guy, Pip, whatever from
Pip Torrens?
Pip
I
Torrens.
love him.
He has a weird respect for the weird sexual pervert guy. Like he gives him a lot of like space.
No, he doesn't have respect for him. He has
I didn't
respect
say
for
respect. I said he gives him space.
He has respect for his father.
Oh.
And in the last episode, he tried to bully him,
Yes.
and Swan kind of turned it around on
That's
him.
what I'm saying.
But Masson ended up getting the last word in. So
well, still.
speaking of Lord Masson, he's getting telephone installed in his massive house, and he's getting ready to leave to deal with some union contracts. And we discover that his wife and daughter are both dead, but he's keeping something locked up in the basement that the maid says is just a rabid dog, but I'm willing to bet it's not.
That's
a rabid
his
dog.
kid.
That's
Because
his-
I've been
yeah.
wondering this whole time, like, how come his daughter died when she got superpowers? She didn't.
She didn't.
She's in the basement.
Yeah, no, because we see the flashback. It was the second episode when we see the spaceship like drop its fairy dust.
Into the first episode.
Okay.
End of the first episode. Okay. We see his daughter get hit with one of the sparks and she just passes out and he like freaks out. And now we're seeing
And you
there's
think that that's when she died.
yeah, but nobody else died when they got hit by the
But,
spark.
right.
If anything, they got brought back to life. Like even True, I think she tried to commit suicide, right?
Yeah.
That's what she jumped off the bridge into the water. She was trying to commit suicide and then the spark hit her and she came back. So like there's something funky going on with his daughter and he faked her death. They even
Yes,
see
he
the tombstone in the backyard with it says daughter on it. I'm like, that chick's got to be this. I am looking forward to seeing what her power is because that's going to be pretty cool.
All right, so the Beggar King now chastises his men for letting Bonfire Annie burn his opium shipment. One of his men mentions that he saw True and Penance there with her, and the Beggar King decides to send his henchman Odium after the ladies.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and
Odium is cool.
Yeah, this leads into a very cool scene later on.
Yeah.
But then Mundy, the detective, he gets a note in his office telling him to meet at a bar. There he meets up with Lord Swan, and we find out that Swan was the one who arranged the raid on the Turned Orphanage in episode 2, so that Mundy could learn about True's operation and see if he can find any girls to recruit for the Ferryman's Club. And we also find out that Swan is compelling Mundy to work with him because he knows Mundy's secret, that Mundy is actually gay.
Or bi.
No,
It's
he's
unclear.
gay. He's totally gay.
I don't know. This isn't
He's totally gay.
You got a sense of it?
Not halfway.
this.
All the way.
He's full gay.
Yeah.
He's full gay.
You don't go full gay.
You don't come back from it, that's for
Come
sure.
back from it.
But it's like Mundy was like, I was blind drunk the first time. And he was like, the first time.
He was like, I was blind drunk when that happened. And Swan's like, the first time.
Yeah.
But
But Mundy's like my favorite character. And I thought this was a very interesting kind of like character development for him. I was
do you
like,
think
oh,
that he's a
okay.
deviant too, Alex, because of the gay?
100%. No, I'm just, no, I'm over the whole like, oh, being gay is this freaking like, I'm over that
In
when they do.
this time?
I get it. Yeah, the Victorian times, I can understand it, but it
I
happens.
think they hanged you for being gay.
It happens in every freaking show nowadays. Where like, if it's in Victoria era, there has to be one gay character who's ashamed of himself. Like, I'm over it. What are you doing?
Playing with toys. If you gave me like a placemat and some crayons, that'd be really good.
I know, because you talked about how you were kind of on board with, or in the same mindset as me with the Joss Whedon shows being like kind of a little bit woke.
Well, Joss Whedon's
he's very woke.
Once you know,
come on! Everybody hates that guy for not being woke.
Well, because he puts on the persona of I'm a feminist, but then he treats people like shit.
Yeah, he sells the woke, but he's not that guy.
Okay, I think that there's a difference here.
There's blind defense of Joss Whedon. Never met him. Don't know a thing about him.
First of all, he's a perfect man.
Yeah.
No, but I think that there's a difference between.
Have you seen Charisma?
Let her
Carpenter?
finish. Jesus, stop interrupting people. Go ahead, Jude. Oh, see what you did.
Okay, I think that there's a difference between being a feminist and being the guy who creates shows with strong female characters. I don't think that if you make your living off of writing strong female characters, that necessarily makes you a feminist or it makes you woke. I think that he just found a market that people wanted, and so he has been churning that shit out. I don't think that it necessarily makes him woke or a feminist or a good guy. I think that he found characters and wrote them that are interesting and strong, and those can be separate.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking looking at me, eyeballs?
Well, my question
you with the face. Stop looking at me.
Quit eyeballing me.
I guess my next question would be like, is there, I mean, it's only 3 episodes in, so there's still time. I'll give you that. There is still time to introduce, but is there a male character in this show that's not in some way either bad or broken?
Is there a female character that's not bad or broken?
The genius engineer chick.
Oh, that's true.
And
no, that's not true. That's the other one. Sorry.
No, True.
Well,
True has a dark past, but she's very much like, I mean, obviously she's the main character. She's the main badass character. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Kadish? I feel like there might be a balance here that we
I think that the 2 least broken characters are the ones that are going to fall in love, which is Penance and the guy that can fly.
Augie.
Augie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't look at it as, we have to have like male characters who aren't broken or complicated or have like something weird going on with them. Like all the characters in this show are all very unique and interesting and stand on their own. And I can appreciate that. Nick Frost kills it as the Beggar King.
Oh, he's so good.
We were introduced to his henchman Odium in the first episode, and then this episode, we really got to see him in action.
He's so good as the Beggar King that I forget that it's Nick Frost.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and Pip Torrens is
I fucking love that name.
Yeah.
It's the most British name ever.
And he's good in everything.
Yeah, he's amazing in this show.
A man with a name like Pip who always plays an evil man. Oh, so great.
Lord Swan is a favorite character of mine. He's very interesting. He's got multi-layers to him. My favorite character in the whole show is Mundy, and I think that he's just smart and interesting. Like, I can't really say like, oh, you're wrong in the sense that, there are these different male characters that maybe aren't as good as the female characters, but at the same time, it's like they're all different. They serve a different purpose in the story, but they're all developed well, which is what I like.
Okay.
So while on an errand, Penance and Myrtle find a flyer with True's picture on it, but it's telling people who are touched to go to an address other than the orphanage. So there's a little bit of a trap going on there. And as Dr. Cousins is leaving his place, the Colonel uses his turn to make him believe that there was a carriage waiting for him. And inside is Melody, who wants Cousins to patch up her bullet wound, which she got in the last episode. And he uses his special gift to do so. Then we go to Wine
Or we're just flying by.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything you want to say about that?
I thought it was an interesting,
we got to see,
Tit?
yeah,
Wow,
we got
lots
to
of
see some
tits.
Melody boob.
A lot of tit.
Yeah.
A lot of tit in that scene. It was pretty good.
This is the perfect case of like, is it one tit or 2 tits? Like if you see one tit, should you see them both? And in this scene, we only saw one tit, and that was enough tit for me. What do you guys think?
I was good with just the one.
Yeah. I thought it was a great tit.
Yeah,
Well,
peekaboo.
we'd seen lots of tits in the Lord Swan scene earlier.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they always come in sets. This scene, it only needed
Single
one tit, and
Wow.
I think that speaks for
I have to say
itself.
though, I would never get with that. She did have a nice rack, but those teeth, yikes, that breath must be stanky. But no, it was a cool scene. I'm all jokes aside. I thought it was an interesting back and forth that they had. Like this doctor, he's like working for both sides. He's obviously got the villain on his hands, and he's still like, "Yeah, I'll help you." It was very interesting. I was surprised.
Hippocratic oath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Like put in that situation, he had to do his duty, and it wasn't like a good versus evil.
It was also
thing.
revealed that he works for the Beggar King, so he's the guy who patches up the Beggar King's guys.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And then we get to go to prison, and we see Winmore Cruz, aka Machine Gun Arm Guy, and he's just chilling in his jail cell, and he's got these open wounds that are just oozing pus.
Bullets
that turn into bullets.
Yeah.
And basically a guard opens up his cell and swaps him out for stand-in, letting Cruz go free.
What is he gonna do? I wonder. Maybe shoot somebody.
Shoot stuff. Yeah, shoot things.
He
All
literally has to.
Yeah. It hurts him not to, right?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that like because like when we see him in the first episode, he's just like, oh, this guy with like a machine gun arm, but then you realize like, oh, those bullets are coming from his blood or something like that.
Yeah,
and like it's painful for him to have to push these things out, without that.
I really like the blue balls analogy I'm getting right now.
Yeah, it's like pushing out a kidney
oh, you know what?
stone.
The pus was white too.
Right, you know what I'm saying? He's like,
Yeah.
I got to get this out of me.
Yeah.
No, the pus was green.
Ew. That means something's wrong.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was white.
I want to get that
No,
looked
it was
at.
green.
I want to get that
Oh
looked
wow! Oh, I gotta change my settings on my TV.
at. What color is Homer Simpson on TV?
He's a white dude.
All right, so
He's got red hair. I don't know.
So after the prison break, True is upset that someone has been posting fake flyers to lure the Touch to a fake sanctuary. She takes Lucy Best with her to the address on the flyer. They knock out the old woman there and fight a fucked up face man who's lying in wait for any wayward Touched. True kills the fucked up face man, and Lucy takes the knocked out old woman back to the orphanage while True gathers evidence of who had fallen for the trap and takes it to Lavinia Bidlow.
This
I
was
do
really
love
cool.
this interrogation.
Oh yeah.
Well, interrogation's coming.
That's the favorite. I mean, yes, the fight scene was cool.
I
Okay.
just wanted to say that before you got
I
there.
liked.
Well, we finally got to see the facemen without one of their masks on.
Yeah, they're messed up.
It was very
It's like part
steampunky.
very steampunk. Yeah, it's like part machine. His jaw's all messed up. Very cool. Very
Is
cool.
this like what that doctor's doing down there?
Yeah,
Very
pretty much,
possible. Yeah.
He's like taking parts of the Touched and making a robot
Mhm.
Touched.
That's pretty freaking cool. I do like that aspect of
Didn't
it.
that happen in Buffy?
Probably.
Yes.
That exact thing happened in Buffy.
Sort of, yeah.
The Frankenstein soldier
It was the
guy.
Frankenstein,
Yeah.
yeah. But he wasn't taking like
But it's different.
people with superpowers.
Sure.
Joss Whedon's got his tropes, man.
Yeah, he does.
All right, Kadish, continue.
So Mary meets with Mundy, and we learn that the reason she left him at the altar is because she discovered that he's gay. Though she still loves him, she didn't want to be in a sham of a marriage. And Mundy asks if he can be there when Mary tries to use her turn to sing, even though he probably won't be able to hear it. And Mary agrees.
This is very sweet, I thought.
Really? I didn't care much
Yeah,
for
I really like their relationship. It's kind
Yeah.
of tragic, but sweet at the same time.
You're so shallow.
it. It's
Alex.
like, just be with her. You'll be all right.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen? I don't know. I'm just joking. No, I don't know. I wasn't connected to these characters that much, so it just kind of like blew past me. I'm like, okay, whatever, moving on.
Well, I thought it was very sweet. And like, I don't know, I'm putting myself in the position of these people in this time. And you couldn't be gay then. And
Yeah.
and this was his only option. And she was like, it's not fair to either of us. But like our relationship, like the foundation that it was built on, it's still there. And I still care for you and I still love you. And you're still the person that I go to because you're my person, but I can't be your wife because it wouldn't be honest. I really felt for it.
Okay, cool. I did like that he wanted to be there when she was singing. She was like, you're not going to be able to hear it, right? And he's like, it's okay.
And he still wanted to be
yeah,
there
I just
for the
want
moment.
I just want to be there with
And
you.
I think a part of him was hoping that, like, maybe
He'd be able to hear it.
maybe he would be able
he was
to. and
definitely hoping.
maybe like there's some secret superpower within him that would maybe make things better for him, and that was his one last hope. And when he didn't hear it,
You could
it's
see on his
so
face.
sad.
Yeah, you could definitely see on his face when
Yeah.
when she started singing. He was very disappointed.
yeah.
He's like, all right, continue.
All right, so Lord Masson has a cryptic meeting with his cabal of straight white men, hinting that the old white men are making some moves. Then we cut to the Bidlow residence, and True presents her findings to Lavinia, who acts appalled at the revelation. She tells True that she'll have all the flyers taken down, but True wants them left up to be able to watch the house and see who goes in and out. And she asks Lavinia to find out who owns the building that is being used as the trap. Lavinia says she'll do so within a day, but she doubts it'll be helpful. Then True reveals that they're doing a test in the park with Mary Brighton's song, then leaves with Lavinia looking very concerned.
Interesting. I need to grow mutton chops. Those things are amazing. The hairstyles in the show are awesome. But yeah, very interesting scene. I don't really have much to add to it, but if you want to continue, go ahead.
Yeah, just continue.
All right. So back at the orphanage, Penance uses Desiree to interrogate the old woman about the fake sanctuary trap. Yes. The old woman reveals little about the men who run it, but then confesses to killing her own pregnant daughter because she was turned.
This is so
that was dark.
And then when you find out, like the girl who, I forget her name with the red curly hair.
Lucy.
Like when you cut to Lucy and her reaction, and then when you find out why, that like when she got her powers,
she was holding her baby.
It's the power of vibration, and she picked up her 6-month-old baby and accidentally killed him.
Broke every bone in its body.
Broke every bone in its body before it could even cry.
That was that was dark. Like the interrogation was really dark because the woman like obviously had no remorse over what she did. She was so hateful towards people who returned, or is that it? Yeah. Touched. Thank you. Towards people who were touched, that she just had no remorse over killing her own daughter. And it was like,
well, I think that she's definitely haunted by it, but at the same time, she's
so
just
angry.
She's convinced that she did the right thing, or she's trying to convince herself that she did the right thing, but she's obviously
and she was like shouting at them, like, "I'd kill every single one of you." Like it was like, oh god.
And Lucy, who accidentally killed her own baby with her powers, almost kills the old woman, but Mary holds her back. They knock out the old woman again, and Mary finally realizes that the touch need a safe space to go, and decides that she's going to sing her song and go along with True's plan.
What's that hooker's name?
Desiree.
I fucking love her.
Desiree's cool.
She's so funny.
She's great. She's got the power to just make people talk once they're agitated. And
so he's like, "Oh, that'll get your blood going." And then she just sits down. She's like, "We're good. She's gonna talk. Don't worry about it."
They just like plop her in the police station on the second episode, and they're like, all the police were like, "Why is everyone confessing to everything?"
It was good stuff.
I like the soundbite. What's that hooker's name again?
Desiree. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love her.
What's her phone number?
555.
It's very useful. Very useful.
What's her OnlyFans?
So on the carriage ride back home, True is attacked by the Beggar King's henchman Odium. She's thrown from her carriage into a lake just as Odium, who's able to walk on water, attacks her. And after one of the coolest fight scenes I think I've seen in a long time, True is just barely able to get the best of Odium and kill him, losing her dress in the process.
Yeah.
She's always losing her dress.
Yeah, dude, this fight scene, it was kind of funny. So like when he starts walking on water, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a lame power. But then once I see like the fight, I'm like, oh my God, this is one of the most creative fight scenes I think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, the thing with him, like he cannot like go through water.
Yeah, like his superpower is that he's got this field that repels water.
Yeah, water bounces off of him.
And even in the first episode, the Beggar King says like, you cannot get that man in a bath. And you just think, oh, he's stinky. But it's like literally like water won't
You can't get him in. Yeah.
It's a very interesting power. But is he also he's obviously a giant. Is that part of his thing, or was he always a giant?
No, I think he was always a giant.
That's just his face, man.
but you know, like he's the Beggar King has been using him as like he'll walk a guy out into the Thames and like drop him in. And then every time he tries to come up for air, he'll just kick him down. And then he's got like that big chain hook thing that like he can use to fish people out of the water and stuff. Like it was badass. And as the fight went on and on, I kept getting more like tense, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Like the whole time I was like, you know, all of these ladies back then, they're under so many layers of clothes. I was like, she's definitely gonna drown. Like that dress would weigh her down. And then when she starts unbuttoning it, I was like, yeah, bitch, fight back.
I did like how creative she got with how she when she realized what his power was, she's like, oh, I've got this, because she's completely safe when under the water. You can't get to her.
But she can't breathe.
But she can't breathe. But that's the thing, though, is like she...
Yeah, but then he starts using his chain hook to like...
Yeah, like she manages to grab the chain, wraps it around his neck, and then somehow... I don't know how physics work in this show, but she was able to pull him.
Well, she's got her feet on his shoulders
and she's just
pulling that chain,
pulling his neck down.
But because of his power, the water will not let him penetrate.
Okay.
So she's using his strength against him.
Using his own weight.
She basically chokes him out.
Yeah. Is he dead or is just passed out?
I think he's dead.
Oh, that's a shame.
I hope he's not dead.
I know. I'm like, man, I'd like to see him again.
He's a badass.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him come back. Plus, the Beggar King would probably be really pissed that he lost like one of his best henchmen. Like there. But yeah, like this scene embodies why I like this show so much. Is like it's just very creative. Like I haven't seen a fight like that anywhere ever. And it was really cool because it started off like I was like, oh, this is lame. And then it got like awesome. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Expectations low.
Yeah.
Presentation awesome.
Yeah. Expectations subverted. And then I watched the making of like how they shot that fight scene at the end of the episode. And it was really involved, like what they went through. Like it was all green screen and stuff like that. I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. This was shot in like a tank, right?
Yeah. I mean, the show looks great. I will say that. Like they haven't had any kind of like bad CGI yet. So I'm down.
So True arrives at the park just in time to see Mary start singing her song. Penance's amplifiers work, reaching all the touched in the city. But sadly, Mundy can't hear Mary's song. Then Mary is suddenly shot by Cruz, who opens fire on everyone gathered in the park. Mundy kills Cruz as True tries to save Mary, but it's too late. Mary and her song.
So they're in the park. They've got all the amplifiers all the way around her. She's singing into these microphones. It's going out to everybody. It was a very triumphant moment. And
you can see how affected all of the touched are when they like hear that song and it touches them. And they just have like, you could see like the hope in their face.
Yeah. And
then you just see her.
Yeah, just one bullet sings right through. Yeah,
I felt like this was a Game of Thrones moment because I wasn't expecting them to kill off this character, and then all of a sudden it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, no way, they freaking just killed Mary. I was like,
and they pumped her so full of bullets, she's definitely dead.
Yeah, they left no question.
Yeah,
she was gone, dude. She had like 19 bullets all over her chest. I was like, oh my god.
It's like those maybe deaths, you know, like, well, they could maybe.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where like, oh, if you don't see the body, that means they're coming back. It's like, what's
no, she's dead.
What's the giant's name?
Odium.
Odium? It's like Odium. Like, we don't know if he's dead. He might be able to come back.
That's the Game of Thrones rule. If you didn't see them die, they're probably not dead.
Mary's dead.
She's like dead.
Dead.
She's totally dead. And, you know, when I was talking about episode 2, about how they gave us all these revelations that, like, you'd think that would be in a season finale. It's like, again, like, you'd think this would be something like mid-season or season finale, like really working up to her singing her song. It's like episode 3.
Episode 3, they kill off Eleanor Tomlinson?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, totally didn't see it coming, was genuinely shocked. And then Mundy like just running up and killing Cruz with like the gun.
Oh, he's so mad.
Shot in the shoulder. Like I was like, it shoots him right in the eye.
Just revenge.
Badass.
Yeah.
Are you upset that you didn't watch this episode, Tom?
You guys could have said spoiler alert like 4 times.
Tom failed at his homework this week.
I was not given the assignment.
It's Kadish's responsibility to make sure everybody knows what to watch.
just tell me earmuffs every once in a while. I know what to do.
All right. And finally, after Mary's death, True and her grieving and defeated group of companions return to the orphanage to find that Mary's song has worked. And there's a whole new group of touch there waiting to join them, including Bonfire Annie. So Mary's sacrifice was not in vain.
Well, I got the impression that Bonfire Annie kind of like
brought her crew,
corralled them. Yeah, because like if it worked, then probably everybody would have gone to the park where it was originating from. And I got the impression that Annie was the one who was like, nah, come on, I'm going to take you there.
Yeah, I felt that because it was a big reveal when she lights up her hand and you get it lights up the whole crowd. I think you're right, Jude. I think it was more that Bonnie brought them all there. I'm sure the song did something. Maybe she heard the song and she changed her mind because earlier in the episode she wanted nothing to do with them. But obviously something's changed.
Well, this is the second time that Bonfire Annie has heard the song because she heard it at the opera too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. And she saved True.
Yeah, in episode 2.
Mm-hmm. So I think she's that's a powerful person to have on your team.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I like the Beggar King's thing. It's like, she shoots fire. How do you fight that? Oh, I know, with guns.
Nick Frost is so good.
Oh,
He's so awesome.
He's such a badass because we watched him in that what was that Amazon show where he's like a ghost hunter?
Oh yeah, that's a great
I forgot
show.
About that.
Yeah. So
He's
like
so likable.
Yeah. He plays a completely like kind of goofy, like likable tech guy, and then in this one, he's like a hardcore gangster.
Yeah.
It's like
awesome.
Everything he's in, he's the clown. I mean, Paul, he's a clown.
yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, he's a clown. Hot Fuzz, he's a clown.
Yep.
But this is the first time that he's like, be a badass. Go.
He's
and he's like,
scary.
oh, I got this.
But he's bad. He's badass.
yeah.
But he's still funny though. He still says funny things.
Oh, no, he's good.
So he's got that humor, but he's also like cutting people's fingers off and
He's
stuff.
apparently a pretty good actor.
Yeah. Hey, who knew?
Apparently, pretty good actor. Pretty good.
Everyone in the show is a really good actor.
Yeah.
Though. Like I love the casting. I love the characters. This show, I don't understand why Alex hates it because I'm thoroughly enjoyed this series.
It's just that the tropes of Joss Whedon that I'm having a hard time getting over. I'm not saying it's a terrible show. Just for me,
I wonder if you didn't know that this is a Joss Whedon show, if you would be so hard on it.
I don't know because before we did the podcast, before I knew I was going to miss the one that we did last week, like I really was like trying to get into the first 2 episodes, and there were so many times where I kind of rolled my eyes and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's another bad man. Here's another white dude who's the evil guy. I just kept rolling my eyes. And I'm not saying it's a bad show. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of creativity behind it. The acting is good. The action is fun to watch. It's very steampunky, which is cool. It's just that one thing I'm hung up on. And that's all it is. I'm trying to get over it. I'm not trying to hold it against the show. It's something that's just in the back of my head constantly. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's another bad guy.
I'd also like to point out that the big bad seems to be Olivia Bidwell, who's a white
100%.
woman.
Yes.
Yeah, the ultimate. Everything. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm not going to let it ruin the show for me, but it's just something I can't help but look at and be like, oh, there's Joss Whedon.
It's one of those things when you see it, you can't stop seeing it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that for me.
Like you wish you could just turn that part of your brain
I
off.
do. I really do. Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of things to like about this show. There's just that one thing, and I'm like, I know what he's doing, and it's irritating me. But whatever. I don't care. It doesn't bother me that you like the show. It doesn't bother me that Kadish likes the show. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Jude and I are loving this show.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
really
great.
into it.
That's awesome. Cool. I hope I get more into your lane than the lane I'm in right now.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up. I need to watch the second episode again because I was pretty checked out when I watched it the first time. I need to watch it again. You guys are really trying to sell me on this, and I'm almost convinced. Really, I mean, you've got me there.
You can come over and watch it if it
there's
makes the experience more fun.
Oh, you live so far away.
There's
it's
a
like
scene-
a 10-minute drive.
I have tons of boots.
It's like a 10-minute drive.
There's a scene in the first episode that I really I had to watch it like 3 times to understand what the hell was going on. Is when she got up on the stage, she killed the devil, and she does her like 15-minute long speech, and it was all in that very heavy accented,
Talk
like
about Malady.
lower London like accent. I had no clue what she was talking about. Like half the words I didn't understand.
It is hard to understand some of the people in this show because of their accents. And, we watch it with the subtitles on for that reason.
Yeah,
but especially the Black Doctor guy. Like I can hardly understand anything.
Well, he's very
said.
soft spoken too.
Yeah.
So you got the heavy accent, and like that whole scene where she was talking on the stage, I was just like, she's obviously the bad guy, but I don't know what she's saying.
Shine your shoes, governor.
I killed the angels, and then the God tell me to come down here. And I'm like, what is she saying? I don't understand.
Well, she's crazy.
I get that, but it's just word vomit. I didn't get it. I was so happy when that ended. I was like, oh, good, we can get back to the action.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Guy Ritchie movie. Like, can you shut up and just kill somebody?
All right, is that the end of the episode?
That is the end of the episode.
All right,
yes.
cool.
So it was a very bittersweet ending to the episode.
I was very shocked that they killed Mary. That was a surprise. So let's see. How many episodes do we have total in this season?
I think 10.
All right, so we've got 10 episodes going. So we're episode 3 in. How are you guys feeling? Very strong, obviously, on
I'm
your
into
side?
it, yeah.
Okay.
You said 10, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So we've got some space.
We've got a ways to go.
Yeah.
And they're already doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it could really turn into something fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to rewatch it.
Come on, Tom.
I need to rewatch it. I don't dislike. I like Buffy. I don't dislike Joss Whedon. But I'm with you, Alex. When they had the room of evil white men, I said the same thing. Like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
But
it's hard not to see.
I don't think.
Okay, but you guys
It's not
get
about that.
so bent out of shape about the evil white man. But there's also the trope of every woman has to show her tits every time she's in something. So Equal opportunity. Everybody gets something.
We'll see where it goes.
We as women get the evil white men. You as dudes get to see some boobs.
Hey, Jean-Claude Van Damme's nipples are right there. You think it's any different?
All right, guys, let's polish this off. Tune in next week. We're going to talk about episode 4. We'll dive deeper into this show, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it. Tom, where can they find you on the socials?
Oh, look hard, look long. I'm on Instagram, Big T2681. It's also on the bowling ball. So,
okay, right on. Jude?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
And Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and kadishbooks.com takes you to my Amazon page.
And I'm the Salty Nerd. You can catch me on Twitter at salty_nerd. And as always, stay salty, my friends.